Thank you very much. Okay, so can you guys hear me? It sounds like it's not on, but maybe it is. Technology has not been our friend, but that's okay. I always say technology is great, except when it isn't. So we're going to get right into it because we're a little bit late, right? So I still think it'll go about 45 minutes an hour. And then if you will do me a favor, if you can save questions till the end, and then I'm also going to give you a way to reach me after all of this, because I know for me, once I hear something and I start marinating in it, usually what happens is like the next day or something, I think of a question. So I just want you to know that you all have access to ask me questions at any point. So I am a UMKC grad, so this is a little emotional coming home for me. So we are going to talk about, I'm not a woo-woo girl, I'm a rubber hits the road girl. So we are going to talk about actual strategies that you can do. This is a recipe that every single one of you can follow to grow your law firm online. So that is what we're going to be talking about. Now, 93% is a really big number. Now, I know that we are lawyers and we were told that there would be no math, but I think we can all agree that 93% is a really big number. And they say that 93% of all online searches begin with a search engine. I don't really know what those other people, what the other, maybe it's like that dentist that refuses to endorse toothpaste or something. I don't know. But we all know that you start with a search engine, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that is the Chat GPT at the beginning of Google. It does not matter. It is a search engine. So if you're using Google, if you're using Bing, if you're using Chat GPT, whatever it is, you want your law firm to be found. Which leads us to this. 1 is a really small number. That's the number of law firms that you own. So what you want is for your one law firm to be found at the very top of those search engines against all of your competitors. I never liked them anyway. So who am I? She just introduced me, but I am an attorney of 23 years. I graduated from UMKC Law School and am very honored to be a member of the Missouri Bar. I do own LawQuill, which is a digital marketing agency for law firms throughout the United States, Canada, and Europe as well. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is, if you took debate in high school, you may remember that the very first thing that they taught us is that you need to define the terms, right? Before you can have an argument about what those things are, you need to know what they mean. Well, it's the same way with digital marketing. Everything's kind of smoke and mirrors, right? When you talk to the digital marketers, they're like, oh, you need SEO. Nobody knows really what that is, right? And everybody defines it in different ways. So I'm going to break it down and show you all of the different types of marketing that exist and what is going to be the most helpful for you as a law firm, as a solo or small law firm. The first thing that you need to know is the difference between organic and paid marketing. Now, you can pay someone to do your organic marketing for you, but that marketing is not in the sense that you are paying per click. So for example, you're not running Google ads or Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads. Advertising is paid advertising, okay? Organic marketing are the things that you are doing to promote traffic to your website, get you noticed, somehow get people either to notice you on social media or get them off of social media and onto your website. So you are showing your expertise, your authority, your trustworthiness in a way that is organic. This is really high. So there's a difference between organic marketing and paid advertising. Both of them are going to probably get you clients. That's just the truth of it, right? Some practices lend themselves more towards paid advertising versus others. So it's not a one size fits all. For example, if you're a bankruptcy attorney, you are interested in kind of a lot of clients, and then there's a lot of churn, right? Versus if you're a business attorney, you are looking to create a relationship with someone that hopefully lasts decades, right? And then you get really great referral partners from that and all of that. But the difference really in both of them is that organic marketing and paid advertising are like apples. The difference is that when you do paid advertising, you just get some apples. Apples are clients, like you're getting that, right? Now, organic marketing is you are planting apple seeds that are eventually going to become apple trees that continue to produce apples over and over and over. Those blog posts you're writing, the practice area pages that you're writing, the content that you keep producing, that lives on ad infinitum on the internet. And so when you are planting those seeds, it takes longer, right, for those to grow, but hopefully that one seed will grow into a tree that has many more apples that continues to produce clients over and over again. And that's the reason that organic marketing is so important. A lot of new attorneys that start out that are solo attorneys, they may want some paid advertising because, again, sometimes you can't be as selective at the very beginning regarding who your ideal clients are. You need to keep the lights on. So in those cases, paid advertising can be more profitable. But as you start to grow and evolve in who you are, what your area of expertise is, and frankly, who you want your ideal clients to be, then that is when you really need to start double downing on the organic marketing. And again, it's kind of like healthy food versus fast food. I mean, on both of them, you won't be hungry afterwards, right? But one, after a while, you kind of feel sick a little bit. You don't really like how it feels. You're hungrier quicker. It's not good versus healthy food, right? It doesn't taste as good, takes longer to make, but in the end, it's good for you. So here's the recipe. We're continuing with the food theme, if you cannot tell. So here is the recipe. These are the 5 ways to grow online. And this is the recipe. I didn't make the recipe. I didn't invent the recipe. We just know that this is what actually works to help your law firm grow online. And this is important. You can't do like where you put it in whatever order that you find it in the kitchen. This is the order in which you need to do this recipe. So the very first thing you need to do is have a brand. Now, remember how I said I'm not woo-woo, right? I'm not woo-woo. But branding is much more than a logo. It's much more than a font or a color. It is really, truly the emotional connection that you are creating between who you are, your expertise, your area of authority within the law, and the exact perfect clients that you want to try to attract. Now, there's going to be some people that don't like this recipe. That's okay. They're not your people anyway, right? As you're growing and evolving, you want the right clients because guess what? Then they're going to refer you. They're going to be in the rooms with other people who are also your ideal clients, right? So at the end of the day, your brand is important. It's critical. You cannot do anything else without a brand. And just think of it this way. When I say the names of these companies, Starbucks, Nike, Bud Light, you all just thought of something. Now, either you love it or you hate it or you're boycotting it or whatever you're doing with this company, but you have an emotional connection with it. And when you see that logo pop up on social media, or see that somewhere, you have an emotional connection about it. Now, I want the same thing for you, for your law firm. I want your brand to be so distinguished from all of the other brands out there, all of the other law firms that are in your same practice area, in your same jurisdiction, that whenever anyone sees you or hears of you, they're like, yep, I know, that's Christy Albano. That's who she is. She's family law in Texas. I know exactly who she is. She's a UMKC grad too. She's awesome. So how do you do it, right? So that's all great, Annette, but how do you build this brand? It takes some deep diving work. That part's a little woo-woo, right? You really do have to start thinking, how am I different? Why would someone choose me over another family lawyer? Do I have more experience? Am I the kinder, gentler family lawyer? Am I the really aggressive family lawyer that's ready to go to the wall or the mat or wherever you go? So am I that kind of a lawyer? So you really have to figure out who you are. Begin early, figure out who you are, figure out who your client is, and then figure out your messaging. How are you an expert? How are you an authority? Why should somebody choose you over your competitors? Listen, this can be anything. One of my clients is an estate planning attorney. And you think, well, how do you make estate planning different? You can. She's an African-American woman in Arkansas. And you know what? Her entire goal is to create intergenerational wealth within a community that she feels hasn't had the resources or, frankly, the education to do so. And she has taken it and made it her mission to do that. So that's a completely different kind of estate planning attorney than one that we work with in San Francisco, who's actually a very aggressive estate planning attorney that works a lot with asset management and with businesses and, you know, financial protection and things like that. So whatever your area of law is, you can find a niche for yourself. What makes you different? What is your passion? Who are your people that you are passionate about? That's your distinguisher. So, and at the end of it, that's when you can start to come up with your design elements, right? Because those should flow naturally. Now listen, here's the bad news. Okay. So don't shoot the messenger. But if you have a gavel or the scales of justice, or if you have a column in your logo that is navy blue, okay, you can do it. But the problem is that everybody else is doing it, right? So when they scroll through social media, there's nothing that is sort of a eye-popping distinguisher that makes you different from others. So just think about that. You know, if you want to use a gavel, maybe use a hot pink gavel, right? Do something different that makes you stand out. So if you've got a really great brand, now you know who you are, you know why people should choose you, you know what your messaging is, you know who your ideal clients are. Now what? Please don't go to TikTok first. Okay. Just hang on. Just hang with me for a minute. The first place you need to go is not social media. Okay. It's not worrying about blogs or anything else. It is your website. Your website is your virtual home on the internet. And you need to think about it as such, just as you would be purchasing a real home in real life. It's long gone are the days, you know, when people were using do even people know what yellow pages are anymore? So, you know, long gone are the days when people advertise like that. And everyone, even the people that see billboards, are going to go to your website. Even the people that you get referrals from on the golf course, they're going to go to your website first. So your website is the most important thing that you can start with. There are a few takeaways here that I want to give you. Now, right, there's like college courses based on how to make websites. So like, this is like literally the 30,000 foot view. The very first thing is you make sure, if you hear nothing else that I say today, that you own your website. That means a WordPress.org website. So if you are with another company that has their own proprietary platform that will create a website for you, you are going at some point to be held hostage, meaning that you cannot leave them. And if that is where you want to stay and you want to be married to them, then that is your decision. But you need to go walk into that with open eyes and say, I do not own my website. And be careful what they say, because what they'll say is this: you own the content on your website. And that's true. You can copy and paste it all, but you do not own your website. So make sure, if you're starting out as a solo practitioner, or you are ready to, if you are in a phase of growth, that you make sure that you create a WordPress.org website, or have someone do that for you. If you have a website already, awesome, you're doing great. These are some of the things that you need to make sure that are existent or not existent on your website, because they really, really matter. The first thing is stop frustrating users. Okay, make it easy. Everyone now has the attention of like a gnat, right? So if they get on your website and then maybe there's like a bunch of pop-ups and they can't find the menu and they can't find your phone number and they don't know what's going on and there's a video or something, you know, make it easy for them to figure out who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you. Because the point, let's just bring it back home. The point of all of this is what? Let's make some money, right? Let's get some clients in the door that we love to work with. And so don't frustrate your users. Make it very, very easy and understandable. What do you do? Who are you looking for? and how do they get in touch with you? The next thing is speed it up. You can go on the internet and see how fast your website loads. There are, you just type in Google, how fast does my website load? There are a ton of tools. And if your website loads faster than 2.0 seconds, it's true, it's considered a slow website. So at that point, you need to talk to your IT person or whoever's hosting your website and find out what you can do, what kind of plugins you can take off, what you can do in order to make it faster. It's just a simple, quick fix that will dramatically change your placement on a search engine. The next, how fast it loads. Yep. And it can't be you because you already have cookies and you already have it cached on your laptop. So you can't go by what you've got. You've got to actually put it in. If you just type in how fast is my website, there's a ton of them out there and they'll do like a little speed test and you'll see how fast your website is. If it's over 2 seconds, it's like a millennia. It's forever in internet world. So the next thing you need to do, we're going to be talking about this a little bit more in step 3, but I'm just sort of emotionally preparing you for this, which is that you need to start creating some content. It's okay, we're going to get there, but I'm just sort of preparing you for that because I know that's a big one. People don't know what to write about, when to write about it, how often to write about it, all of the things. But it needs to be on your website. If you are not creating consistent quality content on your website, Google's done looking at you. Because the Google bots come and they scan your whole website, right? As the robot overlords do. So they've scanned your website and now they wait. If you don't have anything else for them to read, they don't come back and look at it. And then your rankings are going down. So either your website is growing or it's dying. It doesn't ever stay the same, ever. And the only way to continue to get your website to grow in the rankings is to put consistent content on it. The next thing that you need are certain pages. These are the pages that every single law firm website should have. It should have, obviously, all of the practice area pages separate. There's a whole SEO thing about that where there's these sort of like columns, silos, funnels, whatever we want to call them. The Google bots read all of the interlinking between those and go, oh, you do family law. Oh, you do personal, and you do trucking. I got that. That's under personal injury. I can file that under there. That is the way that the Google bots read it. So you need to make sure that every one of your practice area pages is a different practice area page. You want a FAQ page on your website because people don't go to law firm websites for fun. I do, but most people don't go there for fun. They're going because they're freaking out about something, right? They're like, I was just in a car accident, or I just got a DUI, or I think my husband's going to divorce me. Whatever it is, they're going there because they need some quick answers. Now, we all know that you cannot put legal advice on your website, right? We know that, but you can say, this is how long a personal injury case often takes. These are some of the settlements that we've gotten in the past. Past results do not indicate future, all of the things, but you can explain to them, what are my chances if I feel like I was also at fault? Is Missouri comparative state? All of those things are questions that you can answer for them quickly, and they will start to feel a connection with you because you're giving them answers at 2 a.m. in the morning, right? You're helping them. Your website is open 24 hours a day. So you want to be there for them whenever they have questions. So if you're wondering what to put on this page, just think of the 10 to 20 questions that every single person asks when they call you on the phone. You know what they are, right? So all of those questions are your FAQ questions. The other thing that you definitely want to have on your website is an About Me page. The number one page that people go to after the front page is the About Me page. Why? Because people do business with people, right? Like at the end of the day, they're not hiring XYZ law firm. They're hiring you. They want to see who you are, what you look like. Maybe you have some common interest. You both run marathons or raise German shepherds or whatever you do. There's a connection that they're trying to get. So make sure that when you are creating your website, that you offer to them a way to connect with you, not just with information, not just with answers, but showcasing that you're a human being that is going to walk alongside them with whatever they issue, with whatever issue they have when they're coming to your website. Obviously, you need to follow ethical guidelines. You can't put that you're the best. I know that you're the best. We all know you're the best, but you can't put that on your website. You can't put that you have you can't put that you're an expert, but you can put that you have expertise. So a great way to do this is just use some synonyms, right? But there are just words that the ABA and the Missouri Bar say that we can't use. So just make sure not to use them. Also, you can't promise that you'll get them $1 million settlement. I'm sure you can, but you just can't promise that. So now, this is my secret hack. Now, at this point, a lot of people have said that they start thinking about their website and they go, wait, how do I know I want my website to be at the top of Google, but when I Google my website, I see it and then there aren't as many reviews there. So this is like, if there are any gamers in here, this is like the game within a game. Like this is the mini game. Okay, so this is totally aside from the presentation that I'm doing. We're walking into a different world here, but it's so important because 5-star reviews are, we don't even go to a Mexican restaurant, right, without reading the reviews first. So people are obviously going to go and check out your reviews. So this is a way that you can get more reviews. First of all, let me just say you can't pay for them. And when I say pay, I don't mean just money. It means Amazon gift cards. It means coming over and offering to detail their car, whatever it is, something of value. You cannot offer anything of value for a review. Okay. But here's the thing. We all just kind of forget to give reviews, right? People ask us and then we just kind of forget. So keep it at the bottom of your signature line. Just say, and if you'd like to leave me a review, it's not going to hurt anything. It's there. There's a little QR code or a link. So people who are your present clients, past clients, they can go ahead and leave you a review right then. Have a system in place in your CRM if you're using CLE, if you're using whatever you're using, to remind yourself that that person, so if you have a virtual assistant, an in-person assistant, that you can remind them, hey, this person hasn't left a review. Once they do, you can check a box, right? And then just keep bugging them every quarter. Hey, I don't know if you need any more of our legal services, but it seemed like you were happy with ours when we gave them to you. So would you mind leaving us a review? But another really, really great way to get reviews is this. So QR codes are really popular. We just saw them in the last presentation. You can get those for free on the internet. They're QR code makers. You get one and you put it in your office and you frame it. But wait, there's more. What you do is this. You incentivize your staff. Remember how I said you can't pay for reviews? You can't pay for reviews. That's true. But you can give your staff a $50 gift card every time they get someone in the waiting room to leave you a review, right? It's a win-win for everybody. The person feels good because they're leaving you a review. The person behind the desk is getting a $50 Panera gift card. You feel good because you got a review. This is a really easy way that other people don't think about in order to get more reviews because they're waiting in your waiting room anyway, right? What are they doing? They're just waiting. So that is a really great way to get more and more reviews. And you want reviews because that's a huge part of the algorithm. So, okay, I thought I already did this. Okay, now we're on step 3. So you've got a great brand. You know who you are. You know who your people are. You've got a great virtual home. You're getting clients. You're getting reviews, but you want to level up, right? So the one thing that you must do it because your competitors are doing it. You must create content for your website. We're not to TikTok yet. Okay. I know you guys are all like, when is TikTok coming? Hang on. Right. We've already got somebody dancing right here. Yeah. You have to point, right? You have to point at the words that are coming up. No. So we're not to TikTok yet. You might be disappointed when we are. So just to prepare you for that. But the next thing is content marketing. So you've got your brand, you've got your website. Now you need to show the world that you are the expert, that you are the authority, that you are trustworthy, that you are the person above all else that they should contact whenever they have whatever need it is. So the very first thing is that people ask me is, I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to say. Now, I'm going to tell you everything I said before, but the first thing I'm going to start with is ChatGPT. Just go to ChatGPT and literally type in, give me 20 ideas for blog posts for an estate planning attorney in Texas. There you go. Boom. Now you've got it. That's the fastest way. But if you really, really want to get a cutting edge on this, you're going to be thinking about, what do people always ask me? What's the difference between wills versus trusts? If I write a will, does it have to go to probate? Right? All of the things that people genuinely, why do I need a will? I don't even have any kids, right? All of the things that people ask you, every single one of those questions, that's a blog post. So the other thing you can do is don't tell. You can go sneak and look at your competition. See who's crushing it on the internet that is your competitors. Look and see what they're writing. You can't plagiarize. We all know that. But what you can do is say, these particular articles are really good, right? Like she's talking about gun trusts, pet trusts, special needs trusts, right? I want people to come to me for that and see me as the expert for that. So you can write about those things as well. After you have a list of articles that you want to write, you have to remember this. This is another important point. So if I could bold this and highlight it and underline it, I would right now, but I'm talking, I can't. So just pretend that that's happening. You are not just writing for your potential clients. This is not a white paper, and you're not writing for law review. You are writing for the Google bots. And they don't speak the same language that we do. In fact, the way that they read a blog article is this. They read the H1 header, the big title at the top. Then they read all of the H2 headers. Then they read all the H3, all the H4, all the bullet point lists, and then they scan the whole thing to see if there are any key phrases that match. That's not like a human being reads it. But they are trying to quickly, and they do it very efficiently, figure out exactly, they just need to figure out what that blog post is about. They don't need to figure out if it's right or if it's wrong or if you're an expert. They just need to figure out, what is this about? And when you write enough content that showcases your expertise, it'll say, oh, okay, I get it. You do estate planning in Texas. Now, the problem with the Google bots is they're trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle of who you are as a law firm, but they don't have the top of the box. So every time you write a piece of content, every time you get a Google review, every time you get someone coming to your website, it's another little piece of the puzzle. And eventually the Google bots go, you do personal injury in Kentucky. And then they know where to put you on the search engine. So in order to do that, after you have your idea for content, you need to put in really strong keywords. Now there are, if digital marketing agencies have very expensive tools. You don't need them. You can just Google things and see what other people ask, like that section, right? That says, what do other people ask? Oh my gosh, write a blog post on every single one of those. Google is telling you people are looking for that. So write articles on those things. There's also a tool called Keywords Everywhere. It is a Google extension and it is pennies, literally pennies. And I will tell you, it's about on par with some of the SEMrush stuff that I've got. So if you want to see how often a particular phrase is being used, how often it's being searched, how difficult it is to rank for, Keywords Everywhere is really great. So you want to be doing that. You want to be writing for people, human beings, but you also want to be writing for the Google bots. And you want to be creating consistent, authoritative, and trustworthy content. And you want to format your content correctly. So that's not just keywording. Again, you want to be having H1s, H2s. You want to have bullet points. You want to have links to authoritative sources. That's .gov, .org sources to showcase to Google that you are an expert, that you're linking to ships that are more authoritative than you. A lot of the times, the best way to do that is just to link to the statutes or for certain decisions that have been made in your state. So now you've got 3 ingredients. If you stopped right here, it'd be a pretty good recipe, right? Like I would eat that. That is awesome. Google will eat that. If you have got a great brand and a great website and you are putting out consistent content on your website, you are ahead of like 90% of your competitors. I promise you. But wait, there's more. Step number 4 is social media marketing. I know you think TikTok, but not yet. Wait. So social media marketing is important because, wait, I'm going to go back to this slide really quick. So social media marketing is important for several reasons. The reason that is important is because it drives traffic, it creates awareness of who you are, but it also drives traffic to your website. And that is truly what you want. Again, the bearer of bad news, you are not Kim Kardashian. So you probably are not going to get like 1 million hits on the Instagram post that you make. So that's okay. That's not what we're going for. We're going for what I call the plumbing van. So, there's a plumbing van probably that passes by your house all the time. You never really notice it, but you kind of like, oh yeah, there's that pink plumbing van. There it is. Okay. Then you notice it again, whatever. You don't really, and then you're like, oh my gosh, my house has sprung a leak. I need a plumber. And then you think of the plumbing van, right? So you want to be the plumbing van of the law world. You want to be on top of mind always. People don't have to like your posts. They don't have to engage with your posts, although that's wonderful if they do. You just want to kind of keep being all up in their chili, right? So that they keep seeing you as they scroll. And if you have a distinctive brand, they will recognize you. If you've got a pink gavel, like what we were talking about earlier, or if you've got a blue sunset or whatever you've got, they will recognize you. And then when they need an estate plan or their friend needs a personal injury, they will think of you. That is important. But what is even more important is that when you put up your content and promote it on social media, you are trying to get people away from the cat memes and the Harry Potter memes and all of the things that are on there and get them off and onto your website as a captive audience, right? Away from the cacophony of the internet. So what you want to do is make your social media content so compelling that it's not just memorable. It's not just that you say, wow, I remember this person. You're like, that blog, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a pet trust. What is that even talking about? Click. Now they're off of Instagram and they're on your website. And that is what you want. The important thing here to remember is that social media is, you don't own it. Okay. You are playing on someone else's platform. And we all have heard horror stories of people who've had their accounts taken down. So what I tell people is, especially on LinkedIn, you can download all of your contacts on LinkedIn to a CSV file. I recommend doing that at least once a quarter. It would be harder to find them, right? But at least you would have something, right? So that is a little bit of a backup fail-safe plan. But really, you don't want to build your whole house on LinkedIn or Instagram because it could be taken away from you. That's the reason you really need to be building up your own website and also an email list on your website, which we don't have time to talk about today. But if you don't have an email list, you need to get an email list and come talk to me about that later. So the point is that you really, really want to be promoting yourself on social media. LinkedIn is for everyone. Remember, LinkedIn is you, not your law firm. You can put your law firm on there as well, but it's you. Let me give you an example. LawQuill has I think 300 people following it, and I have 19,000. So that's the difference because LinkedIn, people are following people and trying to engage in social conversations with people. Instagram is different. You can do yourself on Instagram, but usually it's your law firm. Same with Facebook. Facebook is your law firm. Now, there's a secret little hack here too. Google Business, I'm going to talk slower now so everybody listens. Google Business Profile allows you to post right underneath your reviews, just like a little mini blog post or a social media post. Now, it's not a social media post because nobody can comment on it, okay? But here's the deal. As soon as somebody Googles and finds your law firm, and then they see your 5-star reviews, right underneath that, they can start seeing posts. And when they click on that, it goes immediately to your website. And then they've stopped Googling, right? They're on your website. And I will tell you, this is sweet for SEO because you are playing on Google's platform, which they love, right? It helps them understand the content that you're putting out. It helps prospective clients know that you're the authority because you're writing about all of these things. And most importantly of all, it is giving Google just one more piece to show who you are. And guess what? Your competitors aren't doing it. They don't even know that this exists probably. And if they do, they are not using it to its full advantage. So so now, if you have got your LinkedIn and your Instagram and your Facebook and your Google business profile, if you are posting on that every single day and you are bored and you're like, Annette, I'm just so bored, I don't know what to do with my time, then maybe you can go to TikTok. This is the reason that I am so against TikTok. It's not that it doesn't work for some people. It does work for some people, clearly. The problem that I have as an attorney and what gives me ethical heartburn is this. Once you install that app on your phone, they have now said that it is possible, maybe even probable, for that app to go into the other apps on your phone and collect data. That means if you are doing any kind of legal work on your phone, you're answering clients, you're looking up your CRM, you're looking up CLE, whatever you're doing on your phone, it is possible for TikTok to be seeing that, the people who own TikTok. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. For me, I'm more conservative in ethical considerations. So it just gives me a little bit of, like I said, ethical indigestion. So additionally, you really have to think to yourself, even if you get popular on TikTok, like you are popular on TikTok, are the people that are going to be liking, commenting, all of those things are those your people? Are those the people that you want in the door? Now, maybe it is. Those are going to be have to be questions that you're answering, right? But if you're a very sophisticated business attorney doing sophisticated M&A transaction work, I'm just not sure that TikTok is the place where your people, well, they may be there, right? But they're not looking for an attorney there, right? They may be on Pinterest too, but they're probably not looking for an attorney there. So at this point, you say, I know, Annette, it's a lot, right? Like I got to do branding, I got to do a website, I've got to do social media. Before we go to the very last thing, I'm going to tell you how to work smarter and not harder. What I hear from everyone is this, Annette, I wake up, I guess I have to make a social media post. I have to make 4 of these now, you're telling me, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google is like, like it's gonna be noon before I even open up my email for work. But here's what you do. You use a tool, I get no kickback for this. Use a tool called SmarterQ. So there are a lot of tools out there. This is the one that I feel is the least expensive and frankly, the best bang for your money. It is a social media scheduler. Now there's a lot out there, like Canva even has one, but I'm going to tell you, let me convince you why this one is even better. So you can create one blog post. I'm going to show you how to write one blog post and make this happen. Let's say you're an estate planning attorney, because that's what we've been talking about. And you write this amazing 1,500 word article, the difference between wills versus trusts. And so in January, you put out on social media, you have a picture and you say, here's my latest blog post, and you put it out to all 4. Okay. And then you schedule that into SmarterQ. Okay. But then you don't leave SmarterQ. You then go and say, do you know what the difference, or do you know what the advantages of a will are? Click here to learn more. That's your February post. Do you know what the advantages of a trust are? That's your March post. Do you know what the disadvantages of a will are? That's your April post. Do you know what the disadvantages of a trust? Do you know what the difference is between common estate planning documents? Do you go to probate with a will? Do you go to probate with a trust? You can have a year's worth of content out of one blog post. And if you sit in SmarterQ, when you make that blog post and you put in all of those things and schedule them out, you have an entire year's worth of content. Now, I know that we all said that there would be no math, but if you do 30 of those in January, if you write 30 blog posts, you now have social media content for the entire year. But wait, there's more. There's a little box on SmarterQ that also allows you to schedule it again. So this can live in perpetuity, because trust me, the first time that people saw, not everybody saw it the first time, right? And if they did, they're not going to notice that you posted again. So you can say, I want this blog, or I want this social media post to go out again every 4 weeks, 4 days, 4 years, 4 months, whatever it is. Now you've got a running bit of social media going. It's evergreen content. Everybody all needs to know what the difference between a will and a trust is. But then as you create more content, this other content is going out on the internet. So now you have your evergreen content going out, right? Which is great information. It's not going to change. The law doesn't move that fast. And then you have more emotional freedom to do more, I don't like the term thought leadership, but you have more time to do thought leadership, right? You have more time to talk about recent cases that may have happened. You may have time to talk about what you ate for breakfast this morning and then somehow muse about how that relates to your law practice or whatever you want to talk about, because the hard work has been done for you on social media. So that is frankly what I feel like is so important. A lot of people say to me, oh, but I'll be posting too often on social media. I don't know. I post like 3 or 4 times a day on social media. I don't even know what went out today. I'm not even going to lie. Like there's stuff that went out on social media today. I think I probably wrote it last year. All of my 2024 content is already written. So that now when I come and speak somewhere like here, I'll be like, hey, look, I spoke at the ABA at my alma mater. Yes, I will put that out. But I'm not waiting to do that. All my other content is going. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about that, come find me and I can talk to you about it. But it's called Smarter Q. It's working. It's QUEUE, like the British stand in line. Okay, so that was my secret hack. So when you have that one, let me see where I'm at. Okay. So when you have that one piece of content and you've created all of this social media from it, you're like, wow, that's really great. But you know what? Wait, there's more. You can take that one piece of content and repurpose it in even more ways, which is why it's earlier in the recipe. Once you create that article, wills versus trusts, the advantages and disadvantages of wills versus trusts, you can then create micro content for social media, which is what I was just talking about. You can send it to your email list. People are always like, oh, I have an email list. I don't know what to send to them. Now you know what to send to them, right? And you can say, hey, I wrote this blog post. You should be emailing your list a minimum of once a week. Minimum. I email mine 3 times a week. They don't fall off because you know why? Some people fall off, but it's rare because I'm leading not from, hey, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. It's more, this is information that you need to know. And if you want my help, I can help you, but I'm leading from a place of information and value. And you should be doing the same. And it doesn't matter what practice area you're in, intellectual property, business, whatever it is, right? You lead from a place of value, and then people will start to trust you and like you, frankly, and see you as the expert. So make sure to send all of this to your email list. The next thing you can do is you can create a podcast from this, right? You've written it. It's 1,500 words. Guess what? I have a podcast. Don't tell. I literally take my blog articles and I talk about them for a half an hour. Usually it's me cracking myself up in my house on my podcast. So if you ever want, kind of a good laugh, you can listen to it. It's Legal Marketing Lounge. But the truth is that is exactly how I do it. So you could easily talk about the advantages and disadvantages of a will versus trust for 20 minutes, right? Probably longer. Maybe you even have case examples that are really interesting that you can incorporate into that podcast. But wait, there's more. You can take little tiny voice snippets from that podcast and then put those on social media. We've all seen them. They're the ones that have like the little voice thing going like this with the subtitles, right? So there's even more content that you can put on the internet. And then finally, video. If you use something like StreamYard, there's a million of them out there. While you're recording your podcast, you can videotape yourself. Videotape. See how old I am, right? Video. I guess there's no tape involved in that, but you can video yourself. I've dated myself. You can video yourself, and then now you've got a YouTube channel. And wait, there's more, right? You can carve that up and put little bits and pieces of video as well online. So once you have that blog article, right? I think one time I sat down and I figured 86 ways that I could spin one blog article. So it's so important to invest time in creating really great content, because once you do that hard work with several articles, it can run for you and it frees up time for you, right? That's the important thing we want, right? We want more time. We want better clients. The very last step is this. This is like the AP class. This is the honors class, IB, whatever it is. This is your class. If you have done all of that, and you're like, but I want to do more because I'm so bored, Annette. then what you can do is have a really strong backlink strategy. A backlink strategy is this. So far, we've just been talking about putting content on your website, on your social media. A backlink is this. Someone else's website is linking to your website, okay? So it's like, and it's a website that has more domain authority, more traffic, frankly, is considered by Google to be better than you for SEO purposes. So it's kind of like you're at the club, right? And somebody's behind the velvet rope and they're like, oh, she's with me. And then you get to go in, right? So that is what a backlink is. And what you want is to be producing content on your website that is so great that other websites are going to link to it. Now, it's hard to do. And it's frankly one of the most pricey things that you can pay for in digital marketing. So I'm going to give you something that's free. There is a website called Haro. It's Haro. It's called Help a Reporter Out. So if you sign up for this and it's free, what you will get is a lot of emails. Okay, so I'm sorry, but it's true. You'll get about 2 or 3 emails a day, and it will have a long list of things from gardening tips to vitamin recommendations, to all of these things that journalists and reporters are looking for. But very often business journals and legal journals are looking for legal, like lawyers or business advice. So what you do is either you, or you can have a virtual assistant or one of your assistants in your office, intern, look through these emails every day. And when they see one that would be like, we're looking for a trademark attorney to now talk about Beyonce naming her daughter something Blue Ivy that is already a trademark. We need a quote from an attorney, intellectual property attorney about it. So then you or your virtual assistant can let you know about that. You just email them back. And you email what your quote is, who you are, where you're from, and then they will probably use that, and they will link, and the price for that, you don't get paid, but the price for that is they will link back to your website. And it is fantastic for SEO, and it is free. So if you're a solo or small law firm that cannot afford backlinks, this is one way to get some very, very coveted backlinks for free. It's just a little more elbow grease. So now you've got a great brand. You've got a great website. You're promoting on social media, but not TikTok. You are promoting all of that everywhere. And on top of all of it, you've got some backlinks. And now Google knows who you are. That's the recipe. Now, when Google sees you pop up, they'll be like, oh, you're an intellectual property attorney in Alabama, whatever it is, right? Because at the end of the day, you are a suitor of Google, right? Google has many suitors coming to try to get to the top place with them. And just as you would with any suitor, right? You need to show up on time, right? You need to do what you say you're going to do. You need to show up consistently if you're trying to woo someone, right? And, the Google bots don't really like flowers, but they love content. So if you consistently show up with content that showcases your expertise, your authority, you start to become trustworthy, not only to potential clients, but also to the Google bots. And Google's like, I can trust them. I can trust this XYZ law firm. I know exactly who they are, and they are always there for me. I'm going to marry them. I'm going to put them right at the top of Google. That is exactly what I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, when you type in chocolate chip cookie recipe, there's millions, right? But Google has to decide the top 3 to put up there. How do they do it? Well, we know how they do it. They write those really, really long recipes that we have to go through. But that's content, right? So that's just showing you that Google loves the content. So if you do this, I promise you it works. It never not works. So this is a little gift that I would like to give everyone here. So today I wrote a book. It's called Click Magnet, the Ultimate Digital Marketing Guide for Law Firms. I wrote it because I read all of the other books that were out there, and all of them were just shills for digital marketing agencies that basically would write things and then say, and hire a digital marketing agency. That made me fussy because I was like, what happens with the solo person who's really trying to DIY this? So now listen, this is not a light read. It's not Harry Potter. Okay, it's not. It is really an instruction manual. But more than that, it goes over everything I just went over in greater detail. But most importantly is this. It gives you the questions that you should ask any digital marketing agency before you hire them. You need to know what you're getting into, because a lot of them are unscrupulous, frankly. I'm not the only one that I think does it ethically. There are many out there that do it ethically. But if you are going to spend your digital marketing dollars somewhere, you are my people. And I don't want you taken advantage of. And that was actually the reason I wrote this book. If you click on this QR code, the Kindle version of it is free today. So you can get that for free. See, there's the QR codes. I love them. So if you have any questions, this is a link to my calendar. It will prompt you to, it's a digital marketing questionnaire. So, it's a little salesy. So I apologize about that, because that's the funnel. But don't feel obligated to answer any of those questions. Just say that you're from the American Bar Association and that you had some questions. If you want to hop on my calendar, this is an open invitation. So either now or at any point in the future, if you want to just visit with me and if you have questions on how to grow your specific law firm in your specific area and jurisdiction, I would be honored to be able to help you out. So I think I got in a little bit under time. I don't know if there's any questions.
Any questions, anyone?
Yes, ma'am. I can't explain it in such a way that it's almost Halloween. It's very scary. So LinkedIn, if somebody doesn't like you, your competitor, they can say you're putting up profane content or, any kind of content that goes against, they'll pull you down. They'll pull your whole profile down. Like, you will not be able to access your LinkedIn account. And it's terrifying, especially for someone like me, that is where that's where my entire world and network, it's my happy place, right? So you just have to tread lightly there. Don't use third-party, tools that might alert LinkedIn that you're behaving badly. Sometimes we just don't know why. If you ever find that your LinkedIn account has been taken down, after you freak out, what you can do is try to find someone at LinkedIn headquarters to help you through the process of trying to get it back. There is a formula for getting it back, and I do know some people who have gotten it back. That's not particularly my area of expertise and something I'm super scared of. So, yeah, but it can happen on any platform, right? Like Facebook or yeah, any platform.
Well, I had a friend that did fashion, and she spent probably a decade, and I can't remember the name of the platform, but she had about 20,000 followers for her fashion blog and customers in there too. This company stopped their format. I don't know, they went out of business, whatever. And she said 20,000 of her contacts disappeared overnight, and she spent the next 4 days on her floor crying. So it can happen. It can. Now yeah. She's back now. She's no longer crying, but she's back now and very successful.
And I do want to say that whoever you have do your website, your social media, whoever you have doing any kind of work for you, you make sure you're the administrator on your Google business profile. If you have somebody working your LinkedIn, you make sure you can kick them off, not the other way around. You just make sure you're at the top. And if they say, well, we need admin rights. Well, you don't need admin rights. You just need like editor rights. You just need, member rights. You don't need admin rights. You don't need the top echelon.
Other question?
Okay, so that's a good question. She's asking if you pay to play, if you pay on certain platforms, do they limit your reach? We don't know. We've seen it both ways, right? I will say, if you have the money to invest, I would always invest, at the very beginning, I would invest in probably paid advertising, just because you need to keep the lights. You need somebody through the door. It doesn't have to be your ideal client. But then I would go like this and do organic marketing more. And then when you have a steady stream, depending on your business model, you know, a lot of intellectual property attorneys, estate planning attorneys, they have courses that they sell, right? They make a lot of passive income. Those are really great things that you can use paid advertising for. But we haven't really noticed that when you pay, that your organic reach diminishes. Oh, okay, so what I'll say to that is this. Your mileage may vary. So if you are noticing something, don't let me call you crazy. Like if you are noticing it, then it's real. Like I'm not going to gaslight anybody, because if you are working on your social media marketing, you know how many people are commenting, how much reach it's getting, how many eyes are on that piece of content. And if you started paid advertising and that went down, and you stopped paid advertising and that went up again, then that might be true for you. The problem is that we don't have access. Like I don't have access to the Facebook and Google. I mean, if I did, I probably would not be standing right here, right? So I'd be like on a beach somewhere, but we don't know. So I do tell people that if they have a gut feeling about what's happening with what kind of content is working for them to get clients, what kind of advertising, what kind of marketing, we partner with our clients. Like we want to hear from them. You know, we want to hear like, oh, we found you because of this wills versus trusts article or because of this social media post. So absolutely pay attention to that's fantastic that you are.
She'll be around. I want to thank you for another round.